Right, drill number one, to stop this out to in path, what is known as over the top. Don't like that term, but that's another video. I want to try and free both of these players' hips up. Let's get your hips actually taking part and helping rather than at the moment they're hurting. So basically at the moment it's like locked down in the hips. Locked down. So you try and turn this, but you're trying to keep this as still as possible. It's almost like you're just kind of picking the club up, sending it kind of over here somewhere, then a little bit of turn, just throws it into the left, encourages that path to just career left. So let's get his hips moving. So what I want you to do is get your hips turning. So right hip back, left hip forwards, right knee straightening up a little, left knee kicking in. Left hip going down, right hip going up. Get them rotating and tilting. Get them moving. Feel how much more depth you could feel in your backswing, the different directions of your hands as you get those hips turning. But watch out, when I see students try and get their hips turning, they tend to do this with their upper body. So we still need the shoulders going this way. So left shoulder down, right shoulder up as you get your hips turning. When I get people to try and turn their hips a lot early on, certainly when they make the movements we see these guys making in these videos, they tend to want to go this way. So left shoulder comes up basically. So I'm going to use my coffee to help. You could use a golf ball, glove, anything. And I'm basically putting the coffee between my toe line of my stance. Now as I turn my hips, I'm going to send my hands up over my right shoulder like a backswing. But at the same time, as I look over my left shoulder, I can still see that coffee cup down there. I can still see that lid. I'm not rotating my hips and just turning my shoulders flat or even standing up, where I now don't see that coffee cup at all. So many great uses for coffee, isn't there? Let's get those hips moving, let's get them helping. Now, if your hips don't help, let's check Emily out here. She is gonna give you some exercises to try and loosen them up a little bit.
Hey everybody, this is a great exercise for those of you who struggle with hip mobility. Not only is hip mobility paramount for generating power in the golf swing from the ground up, but it's also going to save your back. So the most primitive form of this exercise is just a simple windshield wiper. As you can see here, I'm just going to tilt my knees over and tilt them back. Now if I really want to shift my weight with it, we're going to do a full shin box exercise. Tipping over, getting my weight forward and into my left hip. Pivoting all the way over, getting my knees right to the ground on the opposite side. Now the last version of this exercise is to add hip extension. So I'm going to drop my knees to the left, squeeze the glute and drive the pelvis forward, and then transfer back to the other side, knees down, pelvic lift. There you go. 3 versions, give it a try.
Gonna use my chair for this next one. I've also just got this wedge that kicks around in my house. I'm sure many of you have got odd clubs now out of the boot in your house because we're all a little stuck inside. So I'm just gonna put my chair basically so it's facing the front wall here. I'm about 1 meter away from it. I'm gonna take my setup, obviously trying to use my hips and shoulders like we said earlier. But what I'm going to do is just bring my club up to the chair where it stops, and I want to see that leading edge, this front bit of the golf club here, kind of anywhere in line with my spine angle to more tilted down. I don't want no hip turn, lift with your shoulders, club stuffed out in front of you, leading edge nowhere near your spine angle. So I want you to feel as you make this take away, this backswing with your hips and your shoulders moving, bringing it back, stopping at the top of the chair here, that you are working that wrist, so left or right or both, and working that club down to the ground. Then I want you to do it just with your right hand. Try and imagine what that feels like. So don't watch it, turn there, stop. Have you turned it down? What does it feel like to do more? Which way is that wrist moving? Then with your left hand, same idea. Don't watch it. That's more, that's less, maybe about there. So just trying to get the feel of which hand's doing what, and then putting them both together and trying to work that into your start of your hip movement, your hip turn as well. Club face control, so controlling those wrist angles is basically everything. You could do everything else wrong and control those wrist angles and you're gonna hit different shape shots. If you do the other bits, hopefully we'll get the ball started in the right direction and curving it back to the target as well. Last drill. And this is one you can do at the range and a bit in your garden, maybe if you chip in inside a little bit. But I want you always to think of start directions, the way you start the ball off the face, what direction it starts in. But I want you to challenge that idea with this little game. Done this loads, it just works so well for students. So basically I'm going to use the line of this shadow here, and I want my club face pointing 20 degrees left. So 20 degrees closed with a normal grip at the other end. So don't grip turn 20 degrees closed, turn it 20 degrees, then grip it with your standing grip. So that's going to make you feel like the ball's just going to want to start left. Now I want you to make sure you do your hip turn, shoulder turn. You can think about your wrists as well. But I want that ball not starting left. If you were to hit a shot, which way would you swing to make that ball not start left? Bear in mind the face is basically pointing at this bush over here on the left. It's going to give you the idea of trying to swing that club in a feeling of more out to the right. This gets people activating their hips. This gets people understanding start direction, how the face and the path and the combination of those two influence that. Obviously the face is the bigger dictator, but the problem you've got, if you've always got a club face that wants to be open to a path, your path going to the right, like this drill forces you to do, makes no sense. By turning it 20 degrees left and making the agenda that the ball's not allowed to start left of this line, it forces you to move path, because club face, how you orientate it, which is how you use your wrists, how you understand where it is at different points, dictates your club path if you want to be functional. If you haven't got a shadow, anything, I'm going to use the skateboard here. Yes, that's a skateboard. So I've got it about a metre in front of me. I'm going to turn my face so it's pointing left of that board, and I'm going to imagine I had a ball in, I had to start it right of that board. The movements, the swings I'm going to make are very different to the actions you are naturally trying to make. Right, let me know in the comment section down below if any of these drills are helping you. Let me know what you're doing to try and pass this lockdown time the best you can. It's difficult, isn't it, staying indoors like this? Also in that comment section down below, let me know if you want me to do more indoor drills. These drills were taken from my Instagram. If you don't already follow me on there at Crossfield Mark, give me a follow, send me your swing, and you might get involved in the next little drill indoor fix to help your golf swing. Stay safe, stay indoors if you've been told to stay indoors. Speak to you all soon.